Hey, how's it going, folks? Look, I hope everyone took the time yesterday to pay tribute to all those who lost their lives for this country. Um, it seems that a lot of patriotism it's returning. I'm not gonna lie, it is returning. It seems like a lot has started to return to as it should be or how it used to be. Now that Trump is in office, so I wanted to take the time to make sure that we pay tribute or that or that you all pay tribute to those who gave their lives so that we could have the freedoms that we have today, the freedom of speech, the freedom to bear arms, just to be free. And this even goes for the knuckleheads that, of course, we cover and we see time to time. So I just wanted to make sure I took some time out to notate that. So thanks to all those veterans and their families who stood by them, and because you paid a sacrifice as well. So shout out to all you guys. But now we're going to roll into today's video, which is going to be black fatigue. Now, no, actually, not black fatigue. I'm sorry. It's not black fatigue now. Right now, what's trending is Democratic fatigue. And you know what? I'm cool with that because it shows that a lot of people are waking up. And you can search on any platform, any social media platform, and just search Democrat fatigue, and you will get an assortment of videos from all kinds of people expressing their disgust, their exhaustion of the Democratic Party. And that's because you can't help, and I've said it before, you can't help but notice how awful they are to the American people. They're liars, they're cheaters, they're double crossers. Like, you have them literally going out to El Salvador for a gang member. They're like literally putting it out on the line for this guy. Going out there trying to plead his case, or I'm checking on him. I need to see how he's doing. We're just trying to make sure. You're in the wrong country to be doing that. Instead, you should be here in the US minding American citizens. And people they can't help but be disgusted by it. Because it's not just the ones on the right, of course, who've recognized it. It's those on the left as well. And I'm not talking about those that were they used to be a leftist like 10 plus years ago. No. We're talking about people who used to be a leftist as recent as like yesterday, and they're coming out and expressing their disgust. We have illegals running amok in this country, like literally taking out our own citizens, and I'll show you guys here in a bit some newer stories. And then there's one that I made a video on a few weeks ago that is starting to make its rounds on social media, especially social media, now that it's the word has gotten out more. I'll just put it that way. But without further ado, I'm gonna roll this first clip.
Where's the mainstream media at for this young lady, Larisha Thompson? Where is her coverage? Where's her news coverage? 6 illegal aliens shot her on May 2nd, gunned her down. They charged them on May 13th, but I haven't heard anything from CNN, MSNBC. Where you guys at? Why aren't you talking about this woman, this black woman who was a mother? Oh, where's her coverage? Y'all, I'm so disappointed. I know usually my videos are, a little more upbeat, but this is really, really, really messing with me because I'm sick of the Democrats. Why is there no outrage about this, Democrats? Because it doesn't fit your narrative? Or is it, like I said, is it because she's a black woman and the only you know, you only use black women as a scapegoat, Democrats. So you doing all your dirt, so you throw the black woman in front so she can be the one to take the hit for you. That's what's happening right now. Look at all of these black female Democrats and the trouble that they're getting in. All because of the Democrat Party. Listen, oh my goodness, y'all, this is really messing with me. This woman had a family. These people, these kids' mother, these 6 illegal aliens took that woman's life, and they were young boys. Young boys. You know, I'm so sick of this young crime. It's young boys. It's our nation too. It's the black nation as well. I can't just say anything about these illegal immigrants. It's these young kids, and it's a lot in the black nation. And we need to restore law and order in this country. And I like the fact that President Trump was floating the idea of Alcatraz. We need to restore law and order in this country. And I like the fact that President Trump, again, is floating the idea of Alcatraz, because innocent people, loving people are losing their life, and their loved ones are suffering. You see, because when the dead die, they know nothing. But it's their family, their friends. We're the ones left mourning. The children. Why is there no coverage on this lady? Larisha Thompson in the Carolinas. I can't remember if it's South or North Carolina. I know the Lancaster County sheriff was speaking on it. It was 6 little young boys, and they planned some type of robbery, but they shot the woman in cold blood. I'm sick of the Democrat Party. Listen, how long are you guys going to stay there? Now, I understand it, you know, a lot of people don't know better. That's the slave master's MO right there. What he does is he instills fear in the slaves to hold them back. And so many are so fearful of leaving because you don't want to go through the backlash. I've been through the backlash, okay? They didn't call me every name under the sun. I don't even care, because I'm standing up for freedom and for Christ, and no one is supreme over me. Listen, I'm rambling, y'all. I am so disappointed that this Democratic news media, I saw Fox did say something about it. I didn't see much about it on X, and I know why. It's because I know how you all feel about the black woman. And I can say this wholeheartedly to the Democrats. I know how you feel. You feel like we're dispensable. But guess what? We're not. We're the ones who made your party strong. And we're coming out of it. Because the way you all are displaying black women is a disgrace. And I won't let you do it. I won't stand for it. So I'm going to do my best to be an example of the strong, intelligent, classy black woman, to counter your narrative on how you presenting us and who you are putting in on the world stage to represent us. Listen, I'm so mad at the Democrats. But how we deal with this is we've got to dig deep into our neighborhoods, because see, no government can fix the black problems in the black community. It's the black people and the black leaders who need to fix it, and we need to get rid of all of the Democratic leaders, because they've been using you and getting rich off of us and you for years. I'm rambling. I'm so upset about Larisha. Anyway, God bless you guys. God bless. And my condolences to the family. My prayers are with you. In Jesus' name.
They say that group shot and killed 40-year-old Larisha Thompson.
Somebody lost their mom, their sister, aunt, mother. Just a tragedy. This person is out doing the same thing you and I do, just driving down the road, minding their own business.
The sheriff says Thompson was driving down Riverside Road on her way to meet friends when the group tried to rob her. He says 21-year-old Azael Torres Chirinos is the one who pulled the trigger, hitting Thompson, leaving her for dead in her car. Officials say none of the suspects are in the country legally and should not have had the gun.
They took the life of an innocent young lady, didn't have the right to be here, much less commit these crimes here.
Detainers have been placed on all 6, so if any of them were to become eligible for release, they would be taken into ICE custody. Days later,
Tragic, tragic story. I covered Larisha Thompson's story a few weeks ago, and it's starting to gain more traction now. And a lot of people, again, it's part of the people waking up. It's part of the Democratic fatigue, because it was Democratic policies that cost her life. Now, whether or not she voted for said policies, we don't know. And honestly, I'm not going to really touch base on that, right? But I will say this, that uh, despite who you vote for or how you vote, we're all impacted. So for those who voted for Biden and Harris, you voted for these criminal illegals to come in and wreak havoc and destroy lives. You got a story out there where they were committing welfare fraud. Illegals were. You can go online and just search illegal criminals, illegals did this, illegals did that, and the stories are out there. And it's not the fact of like, well, people do that. Okay, yeah, American citizens do that. That's true. But it's the fact that they did it, and it more than likely wouldn't have happened had they not been allowed to come into the country illegally and stay. They were being given a lot of a lot of incentives for breaking the law. You were awarding bad behavior. Those 6 that killed Latricia, that shouldn't have happened. The youngest was freaking 13. And you don't hear anything from Jasmine Crockett. You don't hear anything from what's that bobble-headed guy, race hustler, Sharpton, Al Sharpton, wannabe Reverend. You don't hear anything from them. You don't hear anything from BLM. You don't hear anything from AOC, anyone from the squad. You don't hear anything from any of the Democrats about the loss of life for her, and not just for her, but for others as well. They sit silent. And this story in particular, I believe it just doesn't fit the narrative. If anything, it's narratives that collided, because you have the illegals who you are over here traveling the country for, advocating for them to be returned to the US, to be able to have what's that thing called, due process, right? You're fighting for them to have due process when they didn't come in here legally to begin with, and some of them have already gone through the courts and were denied. The judge said, nah, you need to go, but they're still talking about, trying to get them to stay, giving them the chance to plead their case, so to speak. And then it's sad, it's heartbreaking. A mother of 2 out trying to have fun with her friends, and these 6 that the Biden administration allowed to come into the US illegally, of course, and then they illegally obtained a weapon, and it took her life. She was supposed to be here in the US. They weren't. But they don't want to talk about that, so they sit in silence. And again, it goes back to the Democratic fatigue, because those Democrats who voted for the Democratic voters who voted for those constituents, what are you guys going to say? What do you have to say now? Like, what do you have to say now? Are you guys going to go and take up funds, set up a GoFundMe for her family? Are you going to contribute to it? Are you going to donate to it? You guys have the tendency to continue to say one thing but do another. I mean, you say, oh, that's wrong, but then you support the wrong, aka Carmelo Anthony. I'm just going to throw that out there, because there's a lot that's already come to light about that too. it's evident that he was guilty. He even said it. He claimed it. He said it wasn't alleged. I did it. And then and the evidence is mounting up, and of course he hasn't gone to trial yet or anything like that. But they've been given a lot of opportunities to deny him all of these sweets and treats. And I say that here's an example: graduation. They're allowing him to graduate. No, he's not walking across the stage, but he's being given something that's supposed to be earned, and you work hard to do. But he violated what was their standards, and he violated those standards. But because the media is saying, or his handler is saying, that is racist or whatnot, the school is just going to let him graduate. The dude has a chance to get his GED whenever he goes to prison, wherever he ends up. He has the chance to do that. But you know who doesn't? Austin Metcalf, the kid who he snuffed out, who he took out. I'm not saying snuff, but you know what I mean. He ended his life. He took his life. He doesn't have the opportunity to actually hold that achievement, but you're going to give it to the one who took, something that didn't belong to him. And I'm referencing Austin Metcalf's life. But here's the next clip.
Hello, I am Mayor Brandon Johnson, and I am proud to join you in recognizing and celebrating Africa Day. The continent of Africa is made up of 1.2 billion people with diverse countries full of rich traditions, cultures, and heritage.
I'm the congressman that represents Tomar. I came all the way down from the United States after we'd contacted their ambassador, after we'd made formal requests to our ambassador to the El Salvadoran government. And we came here to visit him today. And now they're telling us we got to go all the way back to San Salvador to get a permit.
Right. So New York is in shambles. Chicago's in shambles, rather. And I mean, they both are, but regardless, like, he's over here advocating for illegals, and your city is in shambles. It's disgusting to stay there, and you're ignoring your own people. And this is what the Democratic fatigue. I mean, he's part of the problem. He will go there and listen to there's like the city council meetings and such. Citizens will go out there and express their concern for their community, why things shouldn't be the way that they are, where they are, how they are. And they blame him, literally point at him and blame him. But you know what he does? He ignores it. And he comes out and he does stuff like this. But here, roll the next clip.
We take refugees from a long list of countries: Venezuela, Syria, the Congo, Afghanistan. But it was 58 white people from South Africa that caused the left to lose their minds.
You know, people are talking about black fatigue. I think what we really need to talk about is Democrat fatigue. Yes, we should be tired of the Democratic Party. See, this country will never truly heal again, never be whole again, as long as we have the Democratic Party. Because the Democratic Party is about division, about hate, about racism. That's their whole platform. And if they don't have that, they don't have anything. See, the Democratic Party like to tell black people and people of color that you can't make it. You can't be successful in this country. You're oppressed. This country hates you. While the ones who are telling us that are millionaires and billionaires. See, we have these leftist, feminist women who are telling you, you don't need a man. You can do it by yourself. And let's be honest. Really, there are no men who want them anyway. And if they're lucky to have a man, he's a sweet, sassy man. He's more sassy than she is, because those are the type of men that the Democrat Party like. They like feminine men. Men who will walk around in skirts and purses and saying that it's a man bag. Men who will wear lipstick and makeup and still say they're men. See, those are the kind of men that the Democratic Party like. Men who they can emasculate. See, this is the Democratic Party. And then you have the Democratic Party who said, the Republicans are trying to take women's rights while they're fighting to have trans women, biological men in women's spaces. See, this country will never heal as long as the Democratic Party is out here. As long as the Democrat Party is constantly pushing racism, hate, division, this country will never heal, because that's what they thrive on. They thrive on separation, because they can't have a platform without it. They will never want this country to heal, because if this country heal, they won't exist. Yeah, we should be tired of Democratic fatigue. I get it. There's going to always be Democrats. There are going to always be people who support the Democratic Party. But if you truly want this country to heal, if you want some peace in this country, you want some success in this country, we can't do it with the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party is all about hate. They're all about division. That's their whole platform. Draw a line in the sand, keep everybody divided, keep everybody mad with each other, keep everybody fussing with each other. Tell the black people and women that they can't make it, that Republicans hate them, while they're fighting to have trans women, biological men in women's spaces, while they're telling women to abort their babies, don't be wives, you don't need a man, you can't make it in this country without the Democratic Party, you can't make it in this country without the government. They want you to constantly be dependent on the government, because as long as you're dependent on the government, you're dependent on them. Yeah, I get it, people saying that have black fatigue, but I think Democrat fatigue is bigger than all of it, and it is what it is.
100%. And I agree with him 100%. Like, I mean, there's no arguing that. They laid it out plain and simple, black and white. And the only reason you can't get it is if you don't want to get it. The Democratic Party has just proven themselves over and over again that they are not for we the people. And I'm so happy to see so many people waking up, and that this is actually a growing trend. I mean, you could have been, again, a Democrat yesterday, and then you all of a sudden, now you're just like, you know what? They definitely don't fit what I believe. Like, this stuff is just getting way out of control. It's getting way out of hand. And they want to, and I'm gonna point this out too real quick, and then I'll close it out. But you look at who they want you to hate Trump, right? And they're out here trying to create their own Joe Rogans. But everything that they hate now and what they're trying to replace or compete with, we're all on their side. Trump used to be a Democrat, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, and I mean, Joe Rogan, he was a liberal. I think he actually voted for Bernie Sanders or something like that. But he didn't even want to have Trump on his show prior to the assassination attempt. Like, before then, he was just like, no, I'm not going to have him on my show. I'm not going to do that. No. And now look at him. You have Bill Maher, staunch liberal. He's out there making sense. He even went and met with Trump, and he's like, you know what? He's a really good dude. Like I could talk trash to him and he would dish it back. There was like no problem. So again, Democrats, liberals, you can do this. You can disagree with what's going on with the Democratic Party and actually agree with those on the right. You can. You're the only ones who are holding yourselves back. You're the only ones who are sitting here saying no, I can't do that. That's you. That's literally you. But you cannot ignore the fact that all of these illegals who are here, of course, illegally, that is not wrong. That they aren't taking away from our resources. That they aren't taking innocent lives. You can't ignore that. If anything, you know what? I'm going to go as far, and you can call it what it is. I'm going to blame y'all for it regardless, period. Because the warnings were there. We were waving you all down prior to the polls, telling you the truth, but y'all decided that you didn't want to hear it from us because Republicans, Trump supporters, MAGA, conservatives, pro-lifers. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell, receive notifications for when I do upload a new video. Hey, hit me up on Instagram. It's been blowing up. Thank you all for doing so. And if you're from Instagram, I appreciate you coming through. Again, make sure you hit that button. Peace out. God bless.